From my portfolio of US stocks, I have a stock that has gains of over 146% in the last 3 years. But it's not all good. I have a stock that is still in the negative territory even after all this time. Hey guys, what's up? I'm Mark, and in this channel, I talk a little bit about lifestyle, but I mostly talk about business and investments. For many years now, since starting this channel, I've talked about investing in global stocks. Because of new apps and new technology platforms out there, we Filipinos can now invest globally. Now, I know some of you have asked me what US stocks to invest in. I haven't really shared any of my stock picks until this video. It's a lot of responsibility to be telling you specifically what stocks to invest in. After all, I am not a certified financial professional. I am really just sharing here with you my own personal experiences. So think of this video as not really me telling you which stocks to invest in, but what I'm sharing with you are my own top 5 positions that I've invested in the last 3 to 4 years. Spoiler alert, not everything has gained. I still have some losses, but I'm hoping that this is encouraging enough for you to consider having some US stocks in your own portfolio. So without further ado, let's go. But before anything, I wanted to let you know that for this video, I've left out my investments in the S&P 500. Why did I do this? I've already made a lot of videos on this. You can check that out later. So let me name here my 5 top stock positions. This will be in the order of the amount of money that I've invested in a certain stock. So the first of these, with $520 invested, would be Google. Since Google is obviously the behemoth that they are, this is my largest position from any of the individual stocks that I own. But despite being the de facto leader of the internet, my investments in Google only has a return of over 2.6%, and that only translates into under $14. So far, not so good. Well, Google was down with much of the market in the last 2 years, so it's only in the last 6 months where it's really recovering. If I did this video last year, Google would have been in the red. So again, my largest stock position, nothing really to write home about. Now moving on to my second largest stock position, I have invested in Meta. Meta, more commonly known as Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, whatever you have out there, Facebook is trying to buy. So Meta obviously is the king of social media. I actually have 2 investments here via eToro and GoTrade. For my investment via eToro, I've invested $150. Its current value is at $178. So these are gains of $28, just a little over 19%. So this is already better than Google. And for my second investment in Meta via GoTrade this time, I invested $73. Its current value is just below $100. So these are gains of over 35%, or in actual value of $26. So my investment in Meta is a little over $220 with returns of about $50. Moving on to my third stock position, this actually has the second highest gains out of my entire US stock portfolio with returns of just under 90%. Yes, 90%. We have here NVIDIA, and I invested here $131. This investment is currently valued at $246. So what's up with NVIDIA? If you aren't really familiar with NVIDIA, NVIDIA is a company that makes microchip processors. They were making a lot of the processors for gaming purposes. But recently, with all the boom that is AI, NVIDIA has really positioned itself to be making microchip processors for AI. So there is a lot of buzz in the market that's really pushing NVIDIA and the company into new highs. So let's move on to the fourth stock position with a return of over 146%. I invested in pharmaceutical company Eli Lilly. This one actually has the biggest gains. Unfortunately, I've only invested $100 in this. So Eli Lilly might not be as big of a name as other global pharmaceutical companies, but Eli Lilly has recently made some news because of their medication that is really promoting weight loss and looking to provide a medication that would look to provide the battle of many of us, which is diabetes. So Eli Lilly stock has really rallied in the past year. And rounding up my top 5 stock positions, we have here Taiwan Semiconductors. I've invested $73 in this. Its returns are unfortunately at the negative. So right now, I'm at a loss of 68 cents. So that is a loss of nearly 1%. Taiwan Semiconductors is actually the manufacturing company of microchip processors for our phones and many mobile devices. So I'm actually not sure why TSM has been underperforming, but I think in the long-term future, this has great potential and I'm keeping put to my position here. So those are my top 5 US stock positions. I wanted to give you a bonus. I have 3 stocks that I'm mentioning here. But these are my 6th, 7th, and 8th stock positions. So I've only invested around $30 to $50 in these stocks. So I have here Apple, AMD, and Microsoft. With Apple, I have returns of 38%. With AMD, I have returns of 54%. And with Microsoft, I have returns of 37%. I actually have good returns for these last 3. I wish I invested more, but of course, I can only say that looking back. So if you are watching this from abroad, especially if you are from the US, you might think that my US stock portfolio is actually quite slim. Well, it's only really, again, during the pandemic when I started really getting into these global stock investment platforms. I mean, I continue to be cautious, especially global stocks are not really something that I'm too familiar with. This is just something that I've been learning in the last few years. So if you're watching this from the Philippines and you are also new to global stocks, I would suggest for you to invest a little at a time. The good thing now with Shari, eToro, GoTrade is that we don't even have to invest a lot of money. You can start your stock positions for a very minimal amount. If you missed my previous videos on that, you can check that out also in the links down below. So basically, those are my top stock positions. For the most part, you would see that I'm invested in a lot of the internet companies. Of course, from the US, these companies continue to be at the forefront of their progress, of their economy. One tip that I have is that if you're used to investing in the Philippine Stock Exchange, investing in US stocks is actually quite a contrast. With Philippine stocks, especially if you are investing in blue chips, the movement is not so volatile. When I started investing in these US stocks, I saw that a lot of the US stocks are actually more volatile. It seems that the best strategy here would be really to trade, to be in and out of your positions. But again, I don't have the time for that. That's why for the most part, I'm only invested in the S&P 500, ETFs, or other UITFs and mutual funds that the banks offer. So US stocks are actually a lot more exciting, but be ready to be in that sort of thrill that your stock positions can really be going up and down. So what do you think about these stock picks? Share your own in the comments down below. If you've liked this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thanks again for watching, guys, and happy investing!